Hello, everybody. We're starting another session of the fairy tale games, and today, today I guess we're pretty much ready to start. We had two players that were supposed to be here that didn't make it, so we're going to go ahead without them. If they show up, we'll fit them in. So our three players are our three characters, having dealt with the Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf and Grandmother and Hansel and Gretel are standing around, I guess, trying to decide what to do. It's late in the afternoon, approaching evening, and otherwise nothing has changed since the end of the last session. And we will go from there. What are y'all doing?
I've completely exhausted gingerbread and body parts to eat, right?
Yes, you've all the goblins or whatever you happen to find.
Well, as you said, Grandma, we were standing around deciding what to do next. So that's what I'm doing. So
Midge is quite ready to go home and examine these seeds and plant them impulsively.
Well, Raylan likes the wilderness, so he'll decide to plant the seeds as well with some suspicion because they were given to them, or not given, but found in the witch's hut. So it's a witch, and they usually don't, have good things inside their hut. So
it's a seed. How can it be bad?
How about you, Korth? Korth, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Did I find anything else while I was there? I don't think I did.
No, there really wasn't a whole lot that anybody wanted there, except that just enigmatic bag of seeds that says beans on them.
What was our first goal? We were trying to get to where?
You were saving the children.
That's it. Have we taken them back yet, or we're still walking with them?
The children went back with the big bad wolf, who turned out to be good.
Ah, yes. All right. And then in that case, I turn to I turn to Anna's character. I forgot her name. I'm sorry.
Midge.
Midge, and I go, "Well, Midge, now what shall we do for fun?"
Well, I've got these seeds. I'm not sure how soon they'll be fun. Sometimes seeds take a while.
I hear birds eat seeds.
Sometimes.
I start licking my lips.
Well, you wouldn't want to eat them until they're cooked anyway. They're not very... They're beans. Beans aren't the sort of seed you eat raw.
I frown at this and I say, "Oh, beans." Mm.
Well, I suppose maybe you would, but most people don't.
I shall wait for their preparation.
Well, I was thinking of planting them and seeing what we get.
Would this not give us more bean seeds?
Usually.
And I turn to Ben's character. What do you think we should do with the bean seeds?
I think we should plant them and see what happens. They're inside a witch's hut, so they're not normal beans.
We haven't rested yet, have we? I then say, well, shall we nap and plant?
If we plant them first, then maybe they will grow while we're napping.
Yes, I'm told this is what farmers do, or foragers at least. more of a predator of my kind.
Well,
We've become farmers. I didn't realize we became farmers.
I farm corpses.
I'm sure I have some nice muffins and things at home to share while we plant, and if you're not full of gingerbread, that is.
Share while we eat corpses.
I smile at this and I say, "There's always room for more." And I pull out my lute and I start playing as we walk.
So you're going back to Midge's place to plant the beans and eat muffins?
Yes,
Be so, yes.
with a side dish.
I don't even want to know. All right, so you travel. Where do you live, Midge? I assume it's not terribly far, since it's getting late and you're tired.
6 sessions later, they made it to Midge's house.
You guys are going to make a campaign out of my 1.5 shot?
And now, each of us are 60 years old. We're pretty old this
I live in the area in a little secretive gnome tunnel.
in the area known as Earth.
Wow, that's a
So
long way from here.
you're going to, yes, you're going to all fit in the gnome tunnel so well.
With hardly any difficulty.
I never said anything about anybody going inside.
That's probably good.
We're only on a front lawn basis, you know? We don't know Midge that well yet.
So, okay, I guess you all travel along with Midge and get to her house without any particular problems, and her gnome tunnel, that is. And proceed, I assume, to have biscuits and tea, and I take it you're going to plant the beans.
Of course. What else would we do with them?
Probably nobody noticed that that your magpie is now green instead of purple. But we all know Midge gets a secret pleasure from this.
I've stopped noticing for the simple fact that I can't eat magpie.
Can't eat it, it doesn't exist.
Yes, Raylan is always disturbed by the chameleon-like magpie.
Does Raylan have any idea what color his hair is?
It would most likely be brown, like average color of, wood elf.
Mm-hmm. Sure it is.
Better not change it.
What color is Raylan's hair, Midge?
As far as I know right now, it's brown or whatever a wood elf normally has.
Probably a good idea.
My hair is actually red, sorry.
See, he doesn't even need your help. It just changes randomly every 5 minutes anyway. Alrighty.
So arriving at my house, I would go in and prepare a quick tray of tea and muffins from what had been cooked up before. And then bring my trowel and my watering can out and start looking for a place in the garden.
I think you won't have any trouble finding a place in your garden. I mean, I assume that you're perfectly capable of that.
I also inspect her garden while we're there. Does she have any other things growing?
Not anymore.
Oh,
You ate them all.
okay, I'm okay with that.
On his last feast, he decided he wanted to eat everything.
I'm sure there's many, many, many things growing in Midge's garden, and most of them are different colors.
Hey, Anna, you're getting some static on your signal there. I'm not really sure what the problem is. We'll see how it goes.
I don't have any idea what I would do differently, so
You might try unplugging your mic and plugging it back in or something like that. Sometimes that's just a bad USB connection.
The mic is the camera.
Oh. Hmm.
Yes, there are some edible things and many, many colorful things in my garden. I would find a relatively undisturbed space in the garden, which is not too close to anything besides food and flowers. And how many beans are in this bag?
I believe there were 7.
7 doesn't divide nicely. I would dig 4 holes, and I'm assuming that the guys are off enjoying biscuits and muffins and whatnot at the moment.
One hopes.
I would dig 4 holes and plant 2 seeds in the first 3 and 1 seed in the last one, because you plant beans in hills, you know, and tuck the dirt over them and water them in with my watering can. And then go to enjoy some muffins if there's any left.
Did you guys eat all the muffins already, or did you savor a couple?
Depends on 2 things. 1, how many muffins? 2, are they all the same muffin or different muffins?
Well, Raylan, he likes, stuff, like baked goods and everything. Even though you said he was on a diet compared to all the gingerbread he ate. You don't think he's on a diet though. So now he's eating most of the muffins, and he holds out, like tiny little crumb to Midge. He's like, "Here you go." About your size, anyways.
Oh, well, I'm sure I probably have something else inside. I duck back in to rustle through my.
Wait, Midge, I can feed you if you'd like, hatchling. And I have my mouth open waiting for Midge now.
Raylan's like, maybe I want some of that.
And I turn towards Raylan.
So now, since I've seen the inside of his mouth, I'm second guessing.
I then proceed to swallow. Very well.
I'll be right back. I duck inside my house and go into the kitchen and look for probably have some cooked chicken or something, and bring the chicken out and gnawing on a leg and offer the rest of it to the guys.
You gave us bread when you had meat.
I'm giving you meat when I have meat, and I gave you muffins when I had muffins.
Very well. Then I obviously accept it.
So you go on and you have your meal, and I'm assuming then you guys intend to just sleep for the night. Get yourselves back to good health and strength and all your spells and things. Besides, you got to see what happens.
Seems like a entirely reasonable plan. Midge would provide blankets and whatnot. Not thinking anybody's going to fit too well inside, but it's perfectly nice in her front yard.
This is gonna be like a long rest, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, this will be a long rest. It'll be a night's sleep.
Okay.
It'll be basically a quiet night. You guys can just sleep. I mean, it's not like you're somewhere in the wilderness where you're going to be attacked by monsters or anything. This is Midge's front yard.
gnome homes are quite difficult to find if someone doesn't know where to find them.
I wonder what our pets are, though, and if they'll attack us. Here's Giant, which is actually a tiny little mouse, and here's Little, which is a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Something like
Yeah, it's
that.
fun.
In any case, if you should happen to roll over and awake at all in the middle of your comfortable night's sleep on her soft front lawn, I hear some sort of quiet swishing noises or something. But I'm sure nobody actually woke up for any length of time.
I mean, a nice soft front lawn is like home to me.
I'm sure it is. And the sun comes up in the morning and starts waking people up. And I imagine who would wake up first?
I think Raylan, because he's an early waker and he's used to the forest and everything, so he also likes waking up early. With all the birds and beasts he wakes.
It doesn't take any special perception or talent or anything to, if you stretch and look around, to see that there's giant green pillars rising up out of Midge's garden. They're probably about 3 feet around, and if you look up, they just seem to go up forever. You know, they go up into some clouds. There's a bunch of big clouds at the top of them.
Raylan's like, that's one big beanstalk.
I don't think I planted them far enough apart.
No, it's trying to all wound together in one big wound up mess. And they used each other for support as they grew up into the clouds.
Raylan's like, I quit. Oh, downhill, folks. I don't want to see what's up there, especially since it was from a witch's hut, and hopefully there's nothing up there that will eat us.
Come on, it'll be fun. Let me make some eggs first.
What's your definition of fun? Definition of fun is climbing up into the abyss, or even higher, or into space, or something like that.
Well, we have to at least see where it goes. There's clouds in the way. You can't tell from here.
Korth finally wakes up when he hears Mitch say eggs. And he perks up and he goes, yes, breakfast. The greatest thing you normal people have created.
Yep.
Let me go cook then and see what to do after breakfast. Midge nods to herself and skips into the house and starts rustling and banging around in the kitchen.
I stretch and walk over to Raylan and say, what's with the green?
What did you say?
The green stuff.
I believe it may be beans with some extremely powerful super grow. Or speed grow, whatever it is.
Yes.
You can try. I'm pretty sure it's going to be very bitter.
Accepting this, I walk towards the beanstalk and try to eat it.
You're able to take some bites off the beanstalk. I don't think they would be particularly flavorful. And they're actually kind of growing even as you're gnawing on them, so you're not actually making progress on like chewing down the beanstalk.
Upon realizing this, I spit it out and I say, I shall wait for eggs.
Because, it's just green stuff anyway.
Good plan. Eggs sound better than bitter green stalk.
I would imagine about then Midge would come out with eggs, and that you guys would enjoy your breakfast. And
There's eggs with cheese and bacon and onions and all kinds of just giant heaping pile of them on this platter.
I'm sure everybody enjoys them immensely before it's time to go ahead with the next section and start climbing beanstalks.
Do we have to?
I guess not.
You know where this is going to end, by the way. There's always going to be a giant up in the sky.
You don't know everything.
Maybe we end up in tiny people land.
I thought it was an ancient white dragon.
I just always think about food, so. Korth looks up at the beanstalk and says, "How do we climb without getting tired?"
That's a very good question. You had a good breakfast. You'll be good for a while.
Yeah, the lizard folk might be good for a while, but are warm-blooded, and these warm-blooded creatures do get tired pretty easily, especially the small one. I'm not carrying her all the way to the top since it was her idea.
Oh, I'm pretty tough. I'm not too worried about that.
Come now. And then I offer Midge on my back to get on my back, sorry.
I'm not too proud.
And I begin climbing like lizards do.
You should be able to climb quite easily, yes.
Raylan begins climbing too, and he looks lovingly at the ground before he takes a step up into utter, tallness or something, and depth or something.
I imagine Raylin would actually climb extremely well, being a wood elf, that it would be quite natural to him.
It would be
Even though-
natural, but he doesn't necessarily like heights.
I was going to say, even though this could get pretty darn high.
Other than the part where it's a bean, not a tree.
Well, there's like little bean branches, sort of tendrily things. There's plenty of handholds and footholds. It's not a difficult climb.
Vaughn flies around us yelling the whole time, making strange noises.
And what color is she now?
Pink.
So, I'm just going to assume that you are able to climb for the half a day or so and stop and take a rest once in a while that it takes to get from the bottom of the beanstalk up to where it disappears. And you climb through the clouds.
Raylan is disagreeing with this idea more and more as he gets farther and farther up. He's like, if we fall, including the lizard folk, we'll all die. Well, if one of us falls, he'll die or something.
Then don't fall.
And he looks jealously at the magpie who is, flying. He's like, why couldn't I fly?
I don't know. That seems not to be a skill that you have. So yes, you spend your last bit there. Fortunately, as you climb, the bean kind of grows and helps to carry you up with it, so you don't have to do all the work yourselves.
So the bean has never stopped growing, ever at all?
Oh, not yet.
Oh boy.
No.
For reference, how long have you been doing this?
You started after breakfast and you've gotten to sort of lunchtime about the time you get to the cloudy area. They seem to be kind of low-flying clouds. And
Raylan's like, no! We've been climbing forever and we've hardly got anywhere on this giant beanstalk.
So, yeah, you have to climb for, I don't know, quite some little time, maybe 20 minutes through the foggy, cold, damp clouds. But eventually, you stick your heads up above the clouds and you look around, and strangely enough, on top of the clouds, there's lawns and trees and fields. And you see some giant wheat fields that stand, probably 5 feet tall with giant heads of wheat on them. And you see off in the distance a few fat sheep with lots of wool. And if you look off to I guess it would be your right if you were facing north, off to the east, you see this beautiful castle, almost like a fairy tale castle with, with crenellations, and it's all clean and pretty, and it has flying pennants in the breeze. And other than that, and the pastoral landscape, a whole lot around. What will you want to do next?
Well, that's quite unusual.
Raylan's like, it's not so bad up here. I could live up here. It's quite nice and everything, but I wonder how the sheep got there and the castle got there.
There's food in the skies.
Now I wish I could fly even more so.
Yes.
Midge looks at the 5-foot tall wheat and then looks at Korth and Raylan and says, now you know how I feel.
Oh, will the party start off towards the castle?
Let's go see if anyone's home.
Or is Korth going to go eat all the sheep? I know, a tough decision.
Before we head off, I turn to Midge. Did you bring perhaps a meal?
I can't say I really expected us to be climbing all the way until lunchtime.
For the better of the group, shall we eat the sheep or go toward the castle? And I ask both you this.
Raylan's like, I'll get a fire going.
How far away is the castle?
Oh, it's not terribly far away. Maybe half a mile. You didn't show up in the courtyard, but it's only a short walk.
Perhaps they are hospitable?
There may be prepared food there.
Less work, yes.
Midge nods.
Always thinking for the better of the group. Less work indeed.
And we head towards the castle at this point.
Yes, as you approach the castle, it becomes quite apparent that it does have, of course, high walls around it, like a normal castle, and it also has a moat, a rather wide and dangerous-looking moat.
The ground is clouds, by the way?
The ground looks like grass and stuff, like somebody had put a bunch of dirt on the clouds and grown gardens and trees and things in it. Around the edge, you can kind of see the edge off to one distance, and you can sort of see it's sort of cloudy around the edge where the green stops, but where you are, it's solid and earth-like.
Korth doesn't question it and walks faster.
Midge skips.
Raylan will question it and maybe walk a little slower now.
It feels perfectly solid underneath your feet. It doesn't feel dangerous or anything.
Who knew this was up here the whole time?
The people here, possibly.
Good point.
And as you...
I look around. Do we actually see anybody, by the way?
At this point, no, you don't see anybody. As you get to the moat, you see that, you have this big wide moat between you and the castle. And you don't see the gate right off.
Okay, so the door of the castle is not facing us.
Correct.
Korth stares confused.
Anybody bring a ladder?
This moat is pretty wide.
Ready to swim, folks.
And it looks kind of dangerous. It's very wide, and it seems like you can see stuff moving like it has a current.
Are there, any rocks on the floor?
Like on the bottom of the moat?
No, like underneath us on the ground that we're on.
I suppose if you dug, you could find some. Not.
I begin digging to try to find something, I guess.
You don't find any giant boulders or.
Yeah, just like a small little rock or a pebble.
Oh, yeah, you could certainly find that.
I throw it into the moat.
You see as it goes into the water that it actually starts swooping off to the left, and as a current in the moat pulls it in as it goes down, and then it disappears into the depths. This is obviously a deep moat.
Well, Raylan is thinking about, should we do this or should we have a very long climb back down to the earth or the material plane, whatever. He's like,
I imagine there's other things you could probably think of too.
Well, there's about to be a door somewhere.
I turn to the right and to the left. Like, do I see any place where like the gate could be, or like a path or a road?
I'm gonna look for fallen logs as well, just to.
Yeah, well, the trees aren't terribly close to the castle. If you look off to your right, you can see maybe that there's a tower over that direction with a pennant on the top of it, or maybe a couple of towers. Could possibly be something like gate towers.
I'm going to send Vaughn to scout the opposite direction in case he finds something.
Okay.
And I think, well, maybe we can see if that's a gate tower.
I agree, and I say, let's go, Mitch. And I don't know if Raylan's going to stay there with trees.
Well, there's not really any trees, so. I'm envisioning like if, there's an open area around the castle that's got fairly tall grass in it for you guys, and then the moat, and then the castle. And that as far as you can see around the castle, that's pretty much the situation.
So the grass basically goes up to the moat?
Yeah.
Does the moat look clear, or is it like full of mud? And
it's not dirty particularly, but it's not clear enough that you can see the bottom. There's some roiling up of the dirt because of this strange current that goes around the moat.
I would skip alongside Korth to keep up. He's somewhat hasty to keep up with his stride.
You going with him, Raylan?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you go around, you do come to some. But you actually you don't go terribly far. Let's get this right. You don't go terribly far, and you hear a rustle in the taller grass on this. If the castle's on your left, the taller grass is on your right, and you hear kind of some rustling in there. And as you look over there, you see what seems to be maybe a young girl, but she looks like she has fox ears. And she has red hair. And she's wearing a white shirt. And she has a very foxy tail as she comes out of the grass. Why, hello! We don't often see people here.
Hello!
How lovely company. And she has kind of a mischievous smile.
Raylan will have his hand on the scimitar and not say anything.
How little is this girl compared to Midge?
Well, she would be bigger than Midge. I mean, Midge is pretty tiny. She would be maybe a little over 5 feet tall.
Also mentioned that Pandora virus will eventually create flying swarms.
I just say back, hello.
Well, aren't you an odd one? Don't often see lizard-type people. Where did you all come from?
I point down.
Me too.
Down, huh? Oh, there's been more magic beanstalks. Every so often someone finds us.
I was told we could eat the bean.
Well, you could. You probably wouldn't want to eat magic beans because they're really meant for growing.
But what do they grow?
Magic beanstalks. You just climbed one.
I'm sorry, the idea of farming is still new to me.
Magic beanstalks connect to cloud castles. That's what they do. Where are you headed?
Wherever there's lunch, apparently. I look at Korth.
Yes, we are hungry.
Oh, I know exactly the thing. And she laughs. Oh, my name is Rain. Who might you be?
I bow and I say, my name is Korth.
Hello, Korth.
Midge curtsies, even though she doesn't have a dress, and says, "You can call me Midge."
And this
Oh.
one is Raylan.
Well, I'm very glad to meet you as well. Yes, and you do see a real mischievous little glint in her eyes as she smiles.
Raylan will partially pull his scimitar like an inch out of the scabbard because he notices the glint in her eyes, so he's a little bit more suspicious. It reminds him a little bit of the Little Red Riding Hood, or now in this case, the Little Green Riding Hood, who's dead now. But
Rain sees the scimitar and kind of laughs. I don't think you need to have a whole lot to fear. Come, I'll show you where there's something to eat.
I can call Vaughn back with us.
Raylan will follow, but still have his hand on the scimitar that's partially pulled out of the sheath. So.
And as she continues off to the right, the direction you were going, kind of bounding and skipping with her big fluffy foxy tail, and her little pointy foxy ears. You'll see that her coat on the back is red, and so are her pants to match her ears and her tail. And as you come kind of around the corner, you see, yes, those are gatehouses. There is there's sort of like a portcullis. There's a drawbridge. It's up and closed. And marching back and forth in front of the drawbridge on the ground on the castle side is the 7-foot tall gingerbread man. He's a very nice gingerbread man. He has lots of icing, making fancy decorations, and he very quick as he trots back and forth in front of the castle. And Rain says, "Look, see, there's a way in." I thought it might be a tad hard to get there.
Is this how you normally enter?
This is normally the way into the castle, yes.
I start walking off to enter.
But no, you have to. The moat's still between you and the castle.
All right.
And the gingerbread guy's on the other side of the moat.
Gingerbread guy?
Yes, there's a 7-foot tall gingerbread guy marching back and forth to guard the castle gate.
And I point at the gingerbread guy and I say, and that. I look at Rain. Is that gingerbread?
I believe so. I believe so. That was baked quite recently and probably quite tasty.
Raylan, slowly creeps over to the gingerbread and he's like, "Gingerbread."
Oh. Did you miss the part where the gingerbread is on the other side of the moat?
On the other side of the moat, yeah.
You were probably in.
That'll never stop me. Gingerbread.
Rain's like, "Don't go in the moat. That might be a little tough. You'd best be careful."
How do you propose we cross the moat, Rain?
And she smiles and her eyes gleam again. Well, you might have to think a little. I can swim.
But you've told us not to.
You don't look like you'd be as good a swimmer, perhaps, as I am.
How wide is the moat?
I'd say about 40 feet.
Dang.
Is there anything around us, like human, animals, other not humans, but humanoids? Sorry.
You don't see any other humanoids.
Do I see like animals, plants, anything?
Well, there's, like I say, there's the grass, and then farther back a ways there's some trees and fields, and even farther away there's the livestock. But they're out in the fields, they're not nearby.
Maybe he'll open the drawbridge if you ask him, Korth.
Is the guard directly like adjacent from us on the other side?
Pretty much, yeah. He's hiking back and forth. He's not really paying a lot of attention to you.
Gingerbread!
He kind of looks over. Yes?
May we enter?
No. I'm to keep people out, not let them in.
Why?
They like their privacy.
We're not people.
They don't want to be bothered.
I am a world-famous bard for a performance here.
I was baked to guard the palace. Or castle, excuse me.
And I was made to perform.
Rain laughs. She says, I don't know that he's smart enough to figure that one out.
Come,
I
look.
might be
Go ahead, sorry.
I might be able to help you if you have something to pay me.
What is considered currency up here?
I think you'll have to come up with something.
I can play you a song.
Do you have anything else?
This song will help you fall asleep.
I won't be much help if I'm sleeping, sir.
You are not sleeping now.
Do you want to roll a persuasion or
Sure, I'll try.
see if you
Let me
can
see.
persuade her?
And this is just 1d20, right?
Yep. Plus your persuasion bonus, whatever that is.
11. And do I have a persuasion bonus? +3, so 14.
You don't get extremely far with 14. She just indicates that, well, I could probably help you. What else might you have among you? And she looks at everybody.
I go through my my backpack and I pull out some incense that I have.
And she kind of wrinkles her nose and sniffs. Interesting. Kind of like that.
They smell better when you burn them.
Oh, yes?
I nod and I say, but she'll only allow you to burn them if you help us.
Let's take a look at the other two before we go forward with that. Mitch, do you have any ideas?
I have some miscellaneous brightly colored petals that are painted in various colors.
Well, Do you want to roll a persuasion check to see if she likes those? Guess we should get everybody a chance here.
I'll take them out and fish a handful of them out of the pouch and show them to her. I don't think that's very. That would be a total of 10.
Could I roll a imitate or intimidation check?
I suppose you could try. She looks, but let her finish. She looks at the brightly colored pebbles. Well, they're quite pretty. They're not maybe quite the most exciting thing.
I rolled a 16.
A 16 for intimidate. You don't really scare her very much. You really don't.
What is she? She seems to be incorrigible.
She looks back. Well, maybe. Do you guys want to ask her any more questions? Find out anything from her? You know, you have a source here of possible information.
What resides within this castle?
All right, roll a investigation. No, not investigation. I don't know what skill would be appropriate for that. What skill do you think would be most appropriate besides persuasion? Let's do something else.
I can only guess investigation, insight, or history. Not insight, so history, investigation.
Probably investigation.
Yeah.
It's not really exactly perfect, but it'll do.
12 plus 3 is 15.
Okay. Well, if you ask her, what did you ask her again? I'm so sorry, I forgot.
Like, what's inside the castle, essentially, or who's inside the castle?
Okay. Well, there's a giant. His name is Gregor, and his wife Dorothy. And sometimes I've seen a man come, and he sort of sneaks in and out. His name is Jack.
And I look around and I say, "Is that Jack's house?" And I point towards where the sheep are.
No, Jack, I think, comes up the beanstalk. He comes and talks to the giantess.
And how does he sneak in?
Well, he's little like you. And he's careful, and the giant doesn't notice him. The giantess sometimes lets him in.
And what of the gingerbread man?
The giantess bakes gingerbread. She has magic. She bakes one into a gourd, and then when it gets a little worn, she bakes another one. The one there today seems quite fresh. She kind of sniffs. Smells good too.
How does the drawbridge open?
From the other side with a handle thing that you let it down. But
Strength of 2 is probably not sufficient to run the handle.
you look awfully small for running that handle. I don't know that you could reach it.
I'm looking at my magpie.
At first, we're going to have to get across that moat.
The magpie is now bright red.
Oh, you're looking at the magpie. No, your magpie is not. Your red magpie, wasn't she? Wasn't it pink?
I don't know what you're talking about. Vaughn's always the color he is.
The foxy little girl kind of shakes her head. How odd. She kind of gives Midge the strange look out of the side of her eye.
I go to Midge and I whisper in her ear, and I say, if we what is magpie again? Is it like a bird or is it like an
Yeah, it's a bird.
Yeah, so I whisper in her ear. So if we pluck a plume from magpie, does it continuously change colors?
The ones that he casts off when he molts. I've never really watched them.
May
He
I?
changes colors?
I'm sure he'll pluck another one that comes loose soon, and I'll let you have it when he does.
And I point at Rain to trade.
Ah,
Well, first I ask Rain before we do.
Rain looks at the magpie. Has beautiful feathers.
with the telepathic link I have with my familiar, I encourage him to preen out a loose feather.
And I assume that Vaughn does so.
Yeah, decently sized one.
Oh, lovely. Lovely, lovely. What a pretty color. And the little fox, yes, I will help you. She says, what I will do is I will change shapes and I will turn into a fox. A big, strong fox. Do you have any ropes or anything like that?
Raylan does have a rope.
You might want to tie yourselves to me.
Okay.
That magical current is rather strong, but I'm stronger. I can get you across. And Midge, you could ride on top if you wish.
Well, thank you.
There's something really weird with this fox.
You just figured that out, huh?
Could we take a break?
You want a break? Sure,
Yeah.
we can take a 5-minute break. That'd be fine.
Because I'm dehydrated, kind of. I have a headache, so.
Yeah. Go ahead. We'll take about 5 minutes here.
Sounds good.
You guys just let me know when you get back.
I'm back.
Yay! It's too soon for Dummy to eat dinner. But you know, he might need a 2,000 calorie snack.
I'm here.
I have returned.
Yay! Everybody's back. So what preparations do you want to do to cross the moat with Rain, who's, having spoken with you, turned herself into a fox, a very large fox, with luxurious red fur and a white tummy.
Braylon is kind of cautious of the giant fox. So.
Okay, but what does he actually do?
He's just gonna do what everybody else is gonna do, you know, like get ready to go into the moat and everything. So tie the rope around himself.
I would probably take the rope and wrap it around the fox so that I have something to hold on to also. And then both ends are available for Raylan and Korth.
I also tie it around myself.
I would imagine that somebody would have tied it around her middle or something before they tied themselves on so that it was secure. And she shakes her bushy tail and hops into the water and swims across. And it's a mighty fight. There's a lot of current in this magical moat. One assumes that the cloud giantess wants to keep people out because she's got the sentry marching back and forth that she baked, and she's got this moat with a current in it. Rain brings you in along the side of the castle where there's an area that's kind of rocky and before you start up the castle walls. And not right next to the gingerbread man. She hasn't actually done anything horrible to you at all. And she waits for you guys to take the ropes off her.
I would make sure she gets Vaughn's feather, which is now blue, and Vaughn is green.
Oh, and she turns back into a girl when she gets the ropes off her. And she says, "Oh, this feather is fantastic. It's well worth it." And she kind of strokes it and tucks it into her pack. She has a little pack under her coat.
Are we next to the gingerbread man?
Not right next to him. And she looks at you and she looks at him. She says, "I think you're going to need more help. He's as tough as he looks." Looking at the 7-foot-tall, freshly baked gingerbread man striding back and forth. And she says, "Here." And she hands each one of you a little potion.
Oh, what's that?
Raylan's like, I love tough cookies.
Cookies.
And the fox Ray just laughs. Says, yes, I like cookies too. Gingerbread.
Too bad he isn't in a gingerbread house.
Well, she says, I recommend you take the potions.
He's like, is it safe to drink this thing?
I guess you'll have to decide.
Does it taste like cookies?
Well, give me a smell and a perception check. See if you can tell if it smells like the cookies.
13.
I think that's enough. Yeah, that you can take a good sniff and say,
Yes.
that has a distinctly gingerbread flavor to it.
He's like, like a expert. He's like, yes, right amount of gingerbread. I believe it has 5 ounces of gingerbread in it. Maybe a little more, but because he really likes cookies, so.
It might be spicy.
Midge uncorks hers and just throws it back.
And right in front of all of you, Mitch doesn't change so much, except that maybe she opens her mouth to yawn and her mouth gets bigger and bigger and bigger when she yawns. It's really quite amazing.
Raylan's gonna definitely drink it because he wants to eat that gingerbread man in one gulp.
I don't know if it's big enough for a 7-foot gingerbread man in one gulp, but
Most of them, at least.
I see if there's a few drops I can shake out of my bottle for Vaughn.
And Vaughn manages to lick up a couple drops, and Vaughn opens his magpie beak, which is pretty good size to start with, but it just kind of goes like it would take a very large bite of something now if need be. Kind of an odd thing to see a magpie beak stretch like that. Not what you would expect. What about you, Korth? Are you in?
Yeah, no, I'll join.
All right. And Rain finds this all highly amusing. She says, I think I'll probably fight better as a fox. And
Do we still have to get over the wall to get to him?
oh no, he's just marching his little path, but he's on your side of the gate of the portcullis.
Gotcha.
Okay. I'm sorry. So there we go. So I would assume that we're going to roll initiative
Oh boy.
because there's no point in doing this if we're not going to roll initiative, correct?
Who's rolling?
You will roll a d20 and add your dex modifier to it.
No, is that everybody rolls?
Yeah, everybody.
Oh.
Keep track of who's going to fight in what order.
Midge has a total of 6,
All right.
which is unfortunate because she was going to do something helpful.
I hate it when that happens.
I have 11. Total of 11, sorry.
My lucky dice was not lucky.
All right. And what about Raylan? Oh, you put it over on the side. There we go.
I rolled a 5. That's one of the
Oh,
lowest.
that's fantastic.
That's one of the lowest I've ever rolled.
All right. Well, let's see. We have Rain. Oh my gosh. Gingerbread guy didn't roll that great, but he's still ahead of all of you. Okay. Damage. At least there aren't a whole lot of us. All right, well, the first one to go is Rain. And she's all excited, so she's going to just pounce right in there ahead of you guys. She decided not to wait. And let me take a quick second here to see what we have going on.
Oh, I didn't roll Vaughn.
Oh, that's right. Well, roll on while I'm looking this up.
Oh, let's see. What is Vaughn's modifier? Vaughn has a total of 17.
All right.
But I'm not sure it's going to do any good because as a familiar, you can't actually attack.
Right. Let's see.
So he's going to
Well,
wait. I guess he's just going to wait this turn.
I almost forgot to put Korth in here. Oh, good. He goes ahead of Gingerbread Man.
Yay.
So, all right. Why doesn't Vaughn just do something on your turn, Midge? And you can just tell him whatever you want him to do that turn.
Okay.
That'll be easier to keep track of. So, first of all, we have Rain. And Rain is going to, she's going to pull her longsword and go bouncing in with her longsword for her first attack. Well, she actually hits him. I'm surprised.
She has a longsword.
Well, when she's in human form, she has clothing, longsword, all that stuff. That just, like kind of like a druid, it kind of goes into her shape when she shapes and comes back when she comes back. Yeah. She hits him for 6 points of damage. And here's where John's going to laugh because I can't math. Oh, there we go. I mathed. Yay. And then the next one's going to be Karth. Oh, I'm sorry. She gets more than one attack. That one's going to miss. And her third one is going to hit. Another 7 points of damage. So she takes a couple of pretty good whacks at him with her longsword. It doesn't really seem to affect the gingerbread man terribly. And now Karth gets a chance.
I'm gonna cast Witching Bolt.
Oh yeah, that's always fun.
Because he's a huge gingerbread thing.
Oh, yeah.
I got a 9.
I don't think that's going to do a lot of damage. In fact, that's not going to hit him, of course. Is there anything else you want to do with your turn?
Me?
I take it you stayed at a bit of a distance, so you don't have to disengage if you want to move.
Yeah, no, I stayed away. No, if it misses, that's my turn.
Okay. And so the next one is Gingerbread Guy. Well, since Rain is right in front of him, he's going to attack Rain. He's got this rather menacing looking, where did this go? Where's this? Let's see. What? Okay. So he's basically just going to take his big, heavy gingerbread fist and try to hit Rain a couple of times. And one of these times, he gives her a pretty good whack. He misses with one and he hits with one. And I'm sorry, I forgot to have something ready to keep track of Rain's hit points. Well, the next one is going to be Midge. What are you going to be doing while I finish writing this down?
I am going to reduce him.
Oh!
Let me paste the details here. In the chat.
Oh my gosh. So it can make a Constitution saving throw?
Yep. So Midge looks at him, grabs the bridge of her nose, throws her hand out with a little pinch of iron in her fingertips, or sorry, with her crystal that she wears around her neck and her fingertips, and sneezes at him. And this multicolored aura like sparkles out of her fingertip and surrounds him and like starts trying to make him smaller.
You'll ever guess what he rolled to oppose that? And that one. So suddenly this 7-foot golem, gingerbread guy just kind of starts shrinking, and he shrinks down to this little 3-foot tall gingerbread cookie.
It's the same height as me now.
Oh, that's perfect.
Raylan like opens his mouth really wide, it's like cookie.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Now he can fit it in his mouth. It's
Oh, it's Raylan's turn to give it a try.
So can I try to fit it in his mouth?
Well, you can do a bite attack and see what happens.
Okay.
Now you have a magically enhanced mouth. Who knows?
15.
A 15 is enough to overcome his armor class, and you manage to get your mouth around him, and he managed to take a big old bite, and you take a fifth of that gingerbread guy disappears down your throat.
And he's like, that's good gingerbread.
Oh, it's a nice fresh one. It is.
I have 2 attacks, so I can take another bite out of him, maybe.
Just a second. Let me do some math here. I'm just laughing too hard. This is too silly. Yeah, go ahead. Take another bite. See if you can get him.
I rolled a 2 this time. I was so distracted by the flavor that
Oh, yes, your mouth is so full you can't really get it wide enough open to get another bite. You're just like, no, I don't forget that. I'm eating this one. Oh my gosh. And we will cycle back to Rain. Having seen the success of her potions, it's just laughing her head off. And she's going to take her longsword attack at this little guy. And she hits with one of her attacks with her longsword, but she's laughing too hard to do a really full-blown job of longsword attacking. You know how it is. Okay. Oh, that's right. She gets 3 attacks. Well, anyway, we'll do this one first. That's a whole 4 points. And I'll see if she hits with that or 3rd attack. Nope. So she's laughing so hard she barely manages to nick the corner of the gingerbread guy. Maybe a bite's worth flies off so that the magpie can have a nibble. And Karth. Korth. Sorry.
Yes. I'm going to decide to finally run up and start biting at the gingerbread man as well.
I think it sounds like a great plan.
If a witching bolt misses, eat your enemy. I got an 11, and I would add, I'm assuming, strength.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Cool, I got a 10.
Oh, how about Dex?
It would be +1, so 12.
Still not going to do it though. I guess he's small enough that he dances out of the way, and you miss your bite full of gingerbread, which probably makes you rather angry.
It does.
Especially because he's going to get mad and try to smash you
Oh no.
with his little gingerbread fists, which are still pretty strong. Okay. One will miss, but the other one with 18 should hit. All right. Roll me a Constitution saving throw. That's a D20.
18.
Oh, you are
Plus-
lucky.
+1, 19.
Yeah, you might have. I mean, I don't know because I don't have your sheet, but you should check to see if you have Constitution as a saving throw specifically, which might
Yeah.
add more.
+1 only.
Okay. So, all right, you are
And he does less damage too from the reduced.
right. Okay, that's a good thing because when he does damage, he does plenty. All right, let me find his dice. Okay. Oh, you got so lucky. Okay, and that's how much is it reduced by?
1d4.
24. Okay. It's a good thing. All right. It's gonna do a total of 4 points of damage. Thanks to major shrinkage and horrible rolling. So Gingerbread takes his little puny gingerbread fish and smashes Korth and really doesn't do him much harm at all. Gingerbread man is dancing around and he's angry. He doesn't like being shrunk. And you'll hear him kind of, he can't really talk, but he's kind of like making little mad noises. And we will go to Mid.
Okay, I'm going to cast Shocking Grasp and have I can cast it through my familiar.
Okay.
So be a touch attack. Would I use his dex then?
I think you just use your normal stats for the attack. For
Okay.
the shocking grasp part, the spell attack.
I'm not even sure how to do a touch attack.
Basically, that means you have contact. It's like a melee, but what's your spell casting?
Would be the spell attack bonus.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that's probably not gonna hit. That's 11.
Even with your bonus?
Yeah.
Well, you know, the gingerbread guy's kind of quick. He's very quick.
Vaughn flies over there and just can't quite get in range with him flailing around all his gingerbread everywhere.
All right, well, we'll go back to Raylin then. Unless there's something else you want to do.
No, that would be pretty much my action unless I want to move, which I'm fine not being close.
Oh, yes, there's definitely... I want... Mids. You have inspiration, by the way, for your creative use of spells. So if you want, you could use that to try again on the attack roll. Or you can save it for later when it might get even more important. Up to you.
I'll probably save it for now.
All right. Now it's Raylan's turn.
Raylan will try to eat it again.
Go right in.
He's still savoring the flavor too much to try.
You have 2 attacks though, right?
Yep. And I'm going to roll the second one after I drop my dice on the floor or something.
Well, that'll change your luck.
15 again.
15 will hit. So with your magical bite attack, once again, your mouth opens hugely wide and you're able to grab and tear off another 5th of this guy. And he's now looking pretty, well, I'd say bloodied, but he's not got blood, quite frankly. I think his frosting is dripping.
He's looking doughy.
He's hopping around on kind of one leg and one arm. Maybe 2 legs and no arms. I think I think he's got 1 leg and 1 arm, and he's hopping around. This is one very pissed off gingerbread man. And we're back to Rain.
So many crumbs.
Yes, so many crumbs. Yeah, you're gonna have trouble controlling your magpie. He's gonna be eating ginger crumbs.
Maybe that's why you couldn't get close
How
enough.
long does he stay small?
1 minute, as long as I can maintain
Oh,
concentration.
6 rounds, okay. And if he hasn't hit you, you're gonna maintain concentration. Rain. Oh yes, you got 3 attacks, Rain. So let's start with 3 dice this time. Oh no. Well, let's see. She hits with 1 attack. Okay. Sorry, I have a little bit of trouble keeping track of this. She's having a grand time. She's like, oh, this is so much fun. I haven't had a good fight for ages. Besides, these gingerbread guys always make me angry. And she does 8 points of damage to him. She's helping to wear him down. She cuts off a chunk and she misses her another attack totally because she's busy stuffing the gingerbread in her mouth. She drops her longsword to grab more gingerbread since she rolled a 1 on one of her attacks. She's got his shoulder. She's like, this is fantastic gingerbread. So glad you came along while he was fresh. And now, Karth, it's your turn.
Wonderful timing.
You're muted, Karth.
I'm gonna take another bite. I got a 7 in total.
7 in total won't do it. Do you only have 1 attack?
I believe so. I only have 12 decks.
Let's see, I wonder if there's something else. I'm wondering if there's something else you could be doing, but to add to that, but I don't really know off the top of my head. All right. After Karth, it's the poor little, I would say beaten up, but really he's more eaten up gingerbread man. It's just one very angry gingerbread golem at this point. So he's going to make his slam attack. His gingerbread slam. And he's going to attack. He's going to attack Rain this time. Oh, he gets a pretty good bite out of Rain there, or slam on Rain, put it that way. And she will roll her. Ooh, she fails. Okay, that won't hurt her too much. She fails her Constitution save and permanently loses 5 hit points off her maximum.
Ouch.
Oh yeah. is 11 points of damage. Okay. And that is the gingerbread man's turn. Midge, you get another turn.
I'm going to attempt to deliver another shocking grasp. That's a natural 20.
Alrighty. Oh, great.
I don't know.
That's obviously going to hit. And I'm not exactly sure how to deal with a nat 20 with a spell, but what I'll have you do is to go ahead and roll your damage, and then I'm going to double it, and then we will add your, they don't add anything to that anyway. So roll your because it is a melee attack, a magic melee attack. So roll your damage and double it.
6, that'd be 12 damage of electricity, lightning damage.
Lightning. You know, that's one of the few things that he's not immune or resistant to.
After
So,
with his claws, this like flash of lightning comes out of his claws, and it's all multicolored, of course. And Vaughn kind of flaps off, looking a little frazzled. Also,
I can see he's got multicolored. He's got like multicolored feathers that are all sticking out, kind of strange, and they're all different colors. And he's kind of like, "Whoa!"
When an impact, he goes from being green to being party colored.
Rainbow. And gradually he settles back to some other color. That's fantastic. I love it. All right, Raylin. Oh yeah, yeah. Course probably does have the ability to give bonus die to other characters as a bonus action.
From what?
You're a bard.
Oh,
Bards
just
have, bards have bard die things they can give away to help other people as a buff.
Song of Rest.
But look at it right now. It's we'll do Raylan's turn, and then
Okay.
you'll have a chance to check it out while we're finishing that up. Raylan? Tommy?
I'm gonna try to bite it again. I was distracted by something I was reading.
That's fine.
Ooh, 19.
All right. Well, you're going to take another giant bite, and it's going to break him into so many small pieces that you're going to get a good mouthful. And there's going to be quite a bit of gingerbread man left over because they're going to, as he loses his life force and all of his frosting falls off.
I ate the rest of it.
Well, there's plenty for everybody. He's now a 7-foot gingerbread man that is no longer alive and is missing about half or 2/3 of his gingerbread. So there's plenty for everybody to have a good snack.
Jeez.
I don't want to share.
Oh, come now. You don't want poor Korth to starve.
I guess not.
Midge would happily come over and start gnawing on some of it and feeding bits to Vaughn.
Even Rain loves gingerbread. And she says, you know, I probably would have done this just for the gingerbread. Thank you so much. You made my day. But the feather's spectacular as it turns to blue. She just sort of strokes it.
Vaughn is mostly red and blue at the moment.
It's starting to settle back to less than 20 colors. And Rain's like, I wonder what other trouble we can get into. This was fun.
It's been fun so far.
And my gentle players, where shall we go next?
Well, I think there's plenty of lunch here. Not sure what else we had in mind.
We only kind of really set out to find lunch after we climbed the thing, but since we're right next to the castle, we can go into the castle.
Rain looks at them and says, "You know, there's other interesting things in here that we could look for."
You sound like you know all the best fun.
Rain giggles.
Are we? I'm not quite visualizing where we are in relation to the drawbridge and the portcullis and everything at the moment.
Okay, well, the drawbridge is up. The basic gate into the castle is open. At least there's a like a door that you can go through, and it's not locked or anything.
Is the drawbridge in the way though?
No, This is how the gingerbread guy comes and goes. The basic foot traffic.
Gotcha.
So. All right. Are you guys going inside then? Or is this going to be a real short adventure?
Yeah, we can go inside.
Midge looks at Korth.
I can only assume there's more gingerbread.
Seems pretty likely.
Rain gives a sniff. Smells good in there.
I start to smell as well. Do I get a scent of anything? Sniff, I'm sorry.
Roll me a perception check.
My passive's 15.
Okay. Yeah, you probably get a sniff of probably baking. Maybe not gingerbread this time. Maybe something like more muffins.
Muffins.
And bread. Fresh, wonderful bread.
Smells lovely.
Yes, Raylan will definitely like the muffins.
So you enter into the first room of the castle. And what you find is a large sort of entry hall. And in this entry hall, there's places to sit. Everything's pretty stuffy and formal. There's suits of armor. There's art on the wall. You know, it's all pretty formal and maybe a little dusty. It's obvious this room is not hugely used. And you can hear, actually, there's 3 doors in this room. One if you go straight through, one to the right, one to the left. And the one that goes straight through, you're going to probably hear someone singing in the next room. Kind of humming. And that's where you think the smell is coming from. And let's see. We had someone with a very high perception.
My passive's high, but I don't know.
Yes, someone with a high passive perception. That would be at Midge. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the.
Oh yeah, I was looking at the wrong column. I was looking at your armor class.
Oh. My armor class is not that great. My perception's pretty good.
Raylin's passive perception's even better than yours. So Raylin would hear some sort of little movement behind one of the suits of armor, kind of sitting off to your left along the wall.
He'll pull out his sword and shield and creep slowly and stealthily towards the move or rattling armor.
I mean, as you As you, Raylan, start to peek around the armor, you'll see a young man peeking back at you with his eyes wide, and he'll stutter, "Where did you come from?"
I think the same way, or from where you come from. And he looks over at Rain and says, "Is this Jack?"
Rain's like, "Jack, are you back again?" Jack's like, "But the giantess is the best cook in the lands. You had some gingerbread. You know." And does anybody want to? So anybody want to do anything?
Oh, I don't know really what to do.
You
Other
could. Oh, go on.
Other than, find the giantess. For cooking really is the best in the land, as he says. I highly doubt that. My mother's cooking is probably better than hers.
Yes, I'm sure your mother's cooking is better than anyone's.
Obviously, we must have a impartial trial now.
Well, nobody wants to check in for insight, or
This is Jack, right?
yes, this would seem to be Jack. Who seems a little surprised to
Nobody
see
has
this
asked him anything.
Nope.
I guess I speak up and say, "We hear you have an understanding with the giants."
And he's like, "Well, I get some of her food sometimes, and you can roll me an insight check if you want to see how reliable he is."
I got a 5 plus 3, that's 8.
You're inclined to believe him because you can smell the good cooking, and it seems like a reasonable reason to crawl up beanstalks to you.
I'm wondering if maybe I should investigate a little bit more here. I'm going to ask Jack, does she know you're getting her food, or are you sneaking in there and taking it?
And he
That would be a 10 on my investigation check. So
he blushes just a little and then stutters some more. Well, yes, but we have to kind of stay away from her husband. He's not very friendly. And you tend to think that sounds reasonable. Did you want to get on this, Raylin?
Yeah.
What do you want to ask?
Well, he's going to continue the conversation about, is the food really the best?
That's all he cares about. He can be lying about everything else. Raylin just wants to know if the food's the best there is. Roll me an insight, and I'll tell you what Jack tells you about the food.
$15.
Jack's like, well, of course I come for the food. It is the best. And you get the impression maybe he's kind of waffling a little bit. That he believes she could cook, but there may be something else going on here too. Lorraine kind of laughs a little and she says, yeah, I hear there may be more than food around here worth looking into.
Raylan doesn't care about gold. There's already gold on the table over there.
That's true. There is some pretty nice things in there. There's beautiful silver serving set.
He was talking about the edible gold.
The edible gold. Yes, the edible gold is important. But there's a lot of nice things in this room too. Even if they're maybe a little old and not too looked after. And as you're standing there talking, you hear off in the distance you hear the ground kind of shake a little bit, and you hear this deep voice, fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. Someone stole my gardeners. Someone killed my gingerbread. My gingerbread guard, just let me find them.
He was actually eaten. I wonder how he found the evidence since we ate most of them.
I imagine a few crumbs aplenty to give him a clue what happened.
That and the missing guard.
Are you guys going to like wait there and wait for the giant to come in, or are you going to do something?
I'm gonna try and hide and run away from the
I'm
situation.
going to hide as well, since my instincts are breaking up now.
Yes.
Which direction is this coming from?
From outside the castle, he'll be coming through the main door that you just came in recently.
Oh, okay.
And Jack is like, "Here, I'll help you hide. Let's go over here." And he heads to the room to the right.
I'll follow him.
And when you get in there, you discover that it's the giant's bedroom with its huge giant bed, which is like 20 feet, at least 20 feet long. And see if I can. Okay, sorry about this. So yeah, there's a giant bed and everything. You can get out, hide under that bed pretty easily, actually. If that's what you want to do. There's a couple of dressers you can probably sneak behind. Some hangings over the front next to the bed.
I'm going to wait. Let me check my ranges and things a second. I'm going to use prestidigitation to create an odor of us toward the other door, or of people toward the other door.
The one on the left that you didn't take?
Yes. And I'm going to use minor illusion to make the sound of that door shutting right as he comes in, and then I'm going to dash under the bed.
And I'm going to give you inspiration again because that's brilliant. That is just brilliant.
I've been trying to find ways to use my illusionisms.
So the giant goes into the main hall and he takes a sniff, and I will roll to see how well he sniffs. Oh, that would have found you for sure if you hadn't have done that. He's got a very high smell perception. And so he goes in and starts rummaging around his study, trying to figure out what happened to these people that he could smell and hear going into his study. So now what are you guys going to do?
Still, Raylan's going to try and get onto the table to eat the food, so.
Where do you think you are? You're in the bedroom.
Oh, I know, but try to find, like the kitchen to get onto the table or dining room or something.
So he wants to head towards the giantess and the good smells.
Yes.
All right.
What is your nose?
What is Korth going to do?
I'm going to help him since I have technically better smell, which never works for me.
All right. And what about you, Midge? What are you and Vaughn going to do?
All of these crazy food creeping.
Rain's decided to go to the bed with you. Waiting to see what everybody else does. She finds it vastly amusing.
Like, I can't let them go alone. It's my fault they're up here. Like, scurry after them.
Rain kind of rolls her eyes, and she can't resist going to see how this is all going to turn out, so she follows you too. So you're all going to go into the kitchen. The giantess is there, and she's quite surprised to see Jack with a bunch of other people, or beings. Are not exactly normal human beings. She looks at Jack, and she looks at this lizard man, and she looks at this little gnome, and she looks at this elf, and she's like, "What are all you doing here? Jack, why did you bring them in here?" Jack's kind of like, I didn't know what else to do. I thought Gregor would catch us. And she's like, "Oh, quick, you'd better hide. Here, this pot is empty. Why don't you hop in there? He won't think to look in that."
Raylan, nope, I'm not going in the pot.
Well, you better hurry up and do something because he's coming.
What is in this room? What does this room look like?
This is the kitchen. It's a large room, of course, because she's 17 feet tall. and everything is huge. And it's a huge pot you didn't get in. Darn you. And there's like kitchen cupboards along the wall. There's a big sort of dining room table, and there's the cupboards are like some sort of countertops, sort of rustic farmhouse style. There's another door in the back of the room.
Are there like supplies and food and things stored in here, or is that
Yes.
stored elsewhere? Okay.
No, there's food and stuff stored in there as well.
I'm going
There's
to go.
bread baking in the oven, and some muffins on the tabletop, just cooling.
I mean, we could hide inside the cabinets. Just then we can hide behind things inside the cabinets.
I'm gonna hide behind some of the like a bag of flour or something that's sitting on the floor.
I would imagine your little 3 foot tall. Do me a stealth check for your 3 foot tall gnome person to see if she can disappear behind a bag of flour.
Nine isn't going to quite do it, I don't think.
No, I'm afraid that you think you're hiding behind the bag of flour. You'll see how it goes. And what are you going to do, Raylan?
Well, is there anything else to hide behind other than the bags of flour and?
I mean, you could hide under the table, but that's not a really good hiding place. What else might be? What do you think you might see in a kitchen you could hide behind?
Pots, pans, like since they're really big, ladles and stuff if you lay down, or maybe even like a butcher's knife, like stuck in a block of.
That's a brilliant place to hide.
Shing.
I think you might do better. I think there might be some barrels stacked up in the back of the room. That might be a better choice than the butcher's knife.
I'm right here, giant. Come and we're having chopped up Raylan for our dinner.
You'll go in that pot faster than you thought.
I'll hide behind the barrels, or at least try.
Yeah, they're kind of in the back of the room next to the door that goes out there, and you can probably. Roll me a stealth check. We'll see.
20.
All right, you can manage to get behind the barrels, and you feel pretty confident that you're hidden. What about you, Korth?
I mean, I was going to try to get inside the cabinets. I don't know if I could open it. Or if one's open, possibly.
Open
You're like cracking up for me now. I'm assuming you hear it too.
We'll see what there is to hide.
Okay, that sounds sort of normal. Can we hear you now? Oh, she has her headphone off.
Okay, is this better? Is this
Yeah.
better?
Yeah, it was super lagged. It was like
Very
drawing
much so.
for like 30 seconds.
Okay. Well, if you guys were talking, I couldn't hear you. So, what did Korth get on his stealth check to get behind to find something in the cupboard to hide behind? Or
17.
all right. Well, you're able to definitely get a cupboard open and dart in, and thinking that there's probably a bag of potatoes here that you feel you're pretty well concealed behind. Big, tall,
Right.
like 50-pound bag of potatoes, and they're huge potatoes. They look an awful lot like the ones the kids were raising down below in the gardens.
I slither between potatoes.
Well, behind them probably, but yeah. Slither between the potatoes. I can see this little.
I'm going to prepare to cast an illusion when he comes through the door too.
Okay, well he's dug around in his study and he didn't find anybody, and now he's even a little more angry because he can smell Jack in the front room, and he wonders about what Jack has been doing here. You know, Jack seems to show up pretty often, but he always seems to avoid Gregor. He goes into the kitchen. Dorothy, have you seen anyone? I swear I smelled Jack and some other odd creatures perhaps with him. Dorothy looks at him, rather innocent. Well, no, I haven't seen Jack for some time. Here, have a muffin. Settle down, Gregor. It's going to be all right. I baked some muffins for you specially, and I have some lovely bread in the oven. And the giant's still a little cranky, but he can't hardly resist his wife's muffins either. He says, "Are you sure nobody came in here?" And he still sniffs the air again. And let's see, let's roll a dice for him. He's unable to smell anything over the smell of baking bread. That pretty well covers the odor of anything in there. And he says, your bread is awfully good, Dot. And he settles down to eat his muffins. As he does so, he manages to avoid seeing Midge, hiding almost in plain sight behind the flower. He's too distracted to really notice her. So what are you guys going to do? I think what we're going to do, in fact, is we're going to go ahead and do an initiative order just to keep track of who does what things in order and to be prepared if we do end up in initiative. It's going to be too much to keep track of.
Bridge will be 15.
Okay.
Um, 14.
Okay. There it is. How about Korth?
On the roll,
Yeah.
I got a 7.
Right. All right, so the first one, like I say, we're not actually fighting, but Gregor just did his sitting down, looking around thing. Midge, you have a chance to do something now. You're muted, Anna.
Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking out loud anyway. But nobody could hear me because I was muted. But it's okay. I'm going to use minor illusion to make it look like there's flour bag in front of me. Which will last for a minute.
All right.
And he would have to use his action to investigate it to tell it's an illusion or try to touch.
Okay. I think that's
And I will
good.
otherwise stay silently there.
All right, Raylyn, you're the next one that gets to do anything or not do anything as you will.
I'm thinking he's gonna wait just to see if the giant will move out of the kitchen eventually.
All right. Dottie the giant is just like, Gregor, have you had enough to eat yet? I imagine you're tired. Gregor's kind of like, gingerbread guard is gone. And nobody's tending our garden down below. This is a problem. We'll run out of food if we don't have the garden. And that's going to try to calm him down. Dot is going to fail. And as they converse, Korth, what will you do?
Just to make sure I understand what's happening right now.
Make sure you understand what's happening?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody's trying to hide at various degrees of success.
But I rolled a 7. Like, did anything bad happen to me?
Oh. Well, let me see. See, you were in the cupboard behind the. I thought you rolled a 17.
Potatoes. No, the first one was a 17, but then you asked for another one, I think, and I rolled a 7.
No, no, we're going on with the 17. You're fine.
Okay.
So, do you
Then-
want to do anything or just continue hiding?
I mean, can I see if anybody else is in danger?
Don't know quite how you do that without losing your hiding.
Then no, I'm just gonna relax behind my potatoes.
You could listen hard and see if you hear something.
I'm gonna listen and see if I can eavesdrop on something that's happening then.
Yeah, the 7 you rolled was for your initiative, by the way, just to keep us in order while we're going
Making
through
sure.
this.
Sorry.
Yeah, roll a perception.
So my passive is 15.
I suppose I should figure that out. Your passive is high enough that you don't hear any scuffles or exclamations of like, "What are you doing there?" So you figure everybody's fine for a while.
All right. Then I'm just gonna stay behind my potatoes.
Yes, stay with your potatoes, man. I can see you starting to eat your way out of the potatoes. Oh, jeez. Jack had found another cupboard to hide in, and he's just going to stay hiding for sure. Now we're back to Gregor.
What about Rain?
Oh, Rain. I forgot about Rain. I didn't roll her an initiative or anything. Well, she rolled bad enough that she's at the bottom of this list anyway.
How about Jack as well?
Jack's hiding. Rain's hiding. Let's roll her a hiding check. Yeah, she's doing okay. She found another barrel to hide behind. Rain's sitting back there laughing silently to herself because to her this is all a big joke. She comes from a race of tricksters and jokesters, and she's having a wonderful time. This is all one big crazy mess for her. Now we'll go back to Gregor.
Sounds like she should be Midge's best friend.
Yes, I think they have a lot in common. Although Rain might be slightly more mischievous even than Midge. Okay. So Midge is hidden with her illusion. Gregor's going to he's going to smell. And he's very familiar with Jack, and he smells Jack, who's hiding back in the barrels, but not exactly where Raylan is hiding in the barrels. And he gets up and heads back that direction. And where Raylan went, you went left, didn't you, Raylan? I think so. He manages to find where Jack is hiding back in the barrels, which is not where Rain or Raylan are hiding. And he drags Jack out, and he's like, Jack! I told you to stay away from my wife and out of my house. What are you doing here? He bellows. And he's 22 feet tall. I mean, this guy is huge. And he's got Jack just lifted up by the back of his neck. I don't even have to roll for it. You know, really? And Jack's like, I just came for some gingerbread. Did you eat my guardian? No. I came in the other way. He says, well, then who ate my guardian? And Jack kind of casts a wild look around, and he's like, there was a gnome. And he said, and a lizard, and an elf, and a purple bird. Or maybe it was green. For a moment, he's confused. The giant's like, I don't know about you. Fee, fi, fo, foam. I smell the blood of an Englishman, and maybe a few other things too. But what are you doing with my wife? You keep coming to see her, don't you? I smell it. And Donnie's like, no, it's perfectly fine. There's nothing to it. It's just, sometimes it's nice to have a little company, so I give him some cookies. It's no big deal. You don't need to be upset, Gregor. Gregor sets down Jack and kind of glares at him. You stay there. I'm going to check on the golden bird. And he goes and past everything else in the kitchen and cracks open the door into the room behind the kitchen. And he kind of, all right. She nods his head a little and closes the door. You stay away from that bird. And he glares at Jack again. He says, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, though. I can't have you here hanging around. I don't trust you. Jack's like, yeah, yes, sir. I'm out of here. I'll try not to bother you again. And when the giant looks the other way, Jack winks at his wife and sort of starts heading for the door out. So now, Midge, what are you going to do?
Can I make a quick insight or arcana check to see if I have any idea what he's talking about with this golden bird?
Yeah, I would do probably an arcana check.
All right, this dice hasn't been lucky. I'm not going to use that one. that wasn't lucky either. Maybe 11.
Well, it's not difficult to tell if there's like a little. Actually, do you have detect magic?
Is that not if it's a spell?
There would be a spell, a cantrip probably,
Huh.
because that's what you would usually use to tell if there was magic.
Then no.
What was your other one? Insight?
I was thinking investigation maybe, but yeah, I don't have any bonuses to insight at all.
Hmm. And what did you roll?
Total of 11.
Total of 11. You don't really know too much. You're certainly able, without any roll at all, to understand that the giant is pretty concerned about whatever this bird is, this golden bird is back behind the kitchen door. That it's important to him. Ray, did you want to do anything, or are you done mid?
What was the giant? Does he look like he's going to do something else after Jack ran out, or do I not know yet?
You don't really know yet. That's as much as he did so far in his section of narrative here.
Can I cast?
Is your illusion spell you have going a concentration spell?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to cast another minor illusion of the footsteps of several persons just outside the door in the direction that Jack went.
All right. The giant hears that.
It appears to sound like they're fleeing.
All right. Raylan, what will you do?
I think, has the giant left yet?
No, not quite yet. Or that'll wait until his turn again at the top of the order.
Well, he's just gonna try to keep himself even, will try to hide himself even more because he doesn't want to be, part of the stew or whatever, like the large pot over there. So,
Right.
and he's surprised that he let Jack go, but
it's a little surprising, isn't it?
we'll see what happens with us because we're the new folk.
Yes. Dottie's kind of bustling about the kitchen. She offers she pulls the fresh bread out and cuts a slice of this absolutely heavenly smelling bread and puts some bright yellow butter from their giant cow, hands it to Gregor, who's slightly calmed down by that. And then Korth gets a chance to do whatever Korth will do. Korth?
Sorry, what happened?
Oh, it's your turn to do something. The giant's there. Jack is gone. Midge has cast an illusion of sounds going after Jack. And everybody else is still pretty much hiding at this point.
Has the giant fallen for the illusion?
No, Dottie gave him bread and butter. He won't move again until his sort of turn comes up. So.
Then, I mean, actually, I have an idea. Let me see if all this crud I have. You can create a sound or image or object in the last iteration.
You've got some illusion too.
His voice and lines roar or a piece of drums. Okay, so I can create a sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Is that prestidigitation?
no, I have minor illusion as well.
Okay, perfect.
And what are the exits of this room? How many exits are there? 2, I'm
There's
assuming?
2, yes. One the way you came in, which is where she created sound to make it sound like we were following Jack. And one in the back where his golden bird is that he's quite concerned about.
Actually, in that case, I'm going to use invisibility. Yeah, I'm going to use invisibility.
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
And I'm going to do the number one thing you're not supposed to do. I'm going to separate myself from the group and head towards the golden chicken egg layer thing.
The golden bird.
Yes.
That's going to be fun. All right.
You target invisible. You have to tap buttons for a target that attacks or casts a spell. Okay, so I have it up to an hour. Sweet.
All right. Jack was next in line, and Jack is leaving. Rain is still hiding behind the barrels and just laughing at all this craziness going on. Silently, of course. He doesn't really want to be that involved. And then we're back to the top of the order with Gregor. Gregor hears footsteps going off after Jack. And he definitely grabs that piece of bread that Dottie gave him and gets up and goes hiking out there, pulls the door open quickly and sees Jack disappearing out the door you all came into the castle in the front. And he looks around and he doesn't see anything else, and he just kind of mutters and shakes his head and kind of heads back into the kitchen. Dottie, what is going on around here? You need to tell me what's happening. I think gives her a bit of a glare, but he doesn't exactly scare her very much or impress her. Everything is fine, Gregor. It's just fine. I don't know what's going on with you. Jackie. They probably did go off after him or something. I don't know. And so Gregor's still in the kitchen. He's a little confused now about all this stuff going on around him. And Mitch gets to do something.
I like the sound of invisibility.
The sound of it. But he's invisible. You don't know he went invisible.
No, but I was thinking about it already anyway. I was just hoping to distract Gregor and save my spells. I'm just so curious about this bird. I mean, never mind that the giant could just, squish me in half a second.
Right?
He won't know I'm there if I'm invisible.
Which means he might step on you, but otherwise I imagine you're okay. Or you can make any noise, or if you sweat and he can smell you, or...
I'm also going to cast invisibility. That's an action too, okay. And I'm going to carefully skirt the edge of the room toward the door to the golden bird room. But that door's closed, isn't it?
That door is closed.
Okay.
And you only slightly bump into Korth. She casts invisibility on herself, and she's going to go check out that room too, because she doesn't know what you're doing. So she's only going to slightly bump into you.
Cool. It can only go well.
Only.
Do I know that that's a scaly thing, invisible thing I just bumped into?
I think you would recognize, because you did ride on his back and you were climbing up the thing, and you would know what he felt like. You maybe I feel this non-thing.
I tap him on where I'm guessing his elbow is from what I felt, so he knows it's me.
I mean, I would assume I know her like touch, right?
What hopes?
Well, actually, I can smell her because I'm weird.
Oh,
When this happens, I just kind of curl myself in a way that like she walks onto my back, and I lift her up and continue walking forward.
okay, you get inspiration for that one. That's great.
You can feel me giggling silently through your back.
I like lizard people too much.
You're doing a great job with him. I'm really enjoying it. All right. Did I skip Raylene?
He's after me, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That wasn't Korth's turn. It was. Yes. So, Korth. So, okay. Midge got invisible and is now riding the invisible Korth to the back door. What will Raylene do?
Well, he can't turn invisible, and he is right next to Rain and everything, and he doesn't realize that everybody else is gone. So he's just all by himself right now, except with Rain, which he's not really liking because he's kind of creepy. So he's just gonna wait there. When he finds out you guys are missing, he might get angry and do something berserker-like. So we'll see.
Right.
Well, he doesn't have any reason to think we're not still hiding. So
Yeah, whether
Right.
you find that.
Jack is gone. Rain is going to continue hiding. She can't really tell that the two of you are invisibly stalking the golden bird. And then we'll come back to Gregor, who's decided to sit down and eat his bread and not worry about it for the moment. Maybe I'll roll, see if he decides to do something. That would be smart. Oh dear, that's a roll that decides to do something. Now I gotta come up with something to do real quick. Gregor has a moment's thought and he thinks maybe they snuck into the bedroom while he saw Jack go out. Maybe he should check the bedroom. So he gets up and goes out with another slice of bread and butter and decides he's going to look around the bedroom to see if there's anything going on in there. And now it's Midge's turn again. No. Oh, I skipped. Did I skip Korth?
yeah, I think so.
I'm sorry. We'll go back to Korth before Gregor decides to do anything.
Okay.
So now you and Midge are sort of together, but you've made it to the door to the back room. What are you going to do?
Can we just fit under the door? Like, you know how there's usually like that little space that never touches the floor?
I don't know how small you are. Midge, on the other hand, is pretty tiny. What would be just...
Maybe if I like plop down on all fours? No, possibly.
Roll me a d20 and add your dex modifier.
Okay. I don't want to say it, but I want to say I fail really badly. It's the one.
Maybe you want to use your inspiration.
Yeah. So how does inspiration? I just roll again?
You just roll again.
So I have 2 total, plus an 18. Hey, look at that.
See? There you go. All right. With that kind of, that's a pretty good roll. So you're going to gently nudge Midge off now that you're right there in front of the door. You found a pretty good crack, which you're going to manage to squeeze yourself through.
Yay.
Sorry about the phone. I'll get it later. Now we can go on. Jack's gone. Rain's gone. Gregor didn't notice, so he went to check the bedroom as previously. And now we're back to Midge.
I left my hand on Korth's tail, so I knew where he was. And knowing that he managed to squeeze under the door, I'm going to follow him under the door.
Right. So, because you know where he went, and you could find that, and you're quite small.
I would say like I leave my tail out, kind of like poking her, so she can follow me. Since
Yeah,
we're both
she could.
invisible.
She can just follow you under the door. I don't think that even needs a roll at this point. And
What do we see inside this door? Now that
with
we're-
a yeah, now you're both inside. I can tell you what you see. It's a reasonably good-sized room. Inside, there's a creature that looks like a medium-sized humanoid. It's got like clawed feet and it's got arms, but it's kind of gray scaly skin, and down the back it's got these golden feathers, and on its arms, almost like wings, it has a bunch of golden feathers, and it has kind of a beak.
Huh.
So it's not really like a goose or a chicken. It's some other kind of bird-like creature. It probably can't fly.
It I assume did not hear us crawling under the door.
No, it's unaware of you.
Uh, what is it doing? Anything? In a cage, or is it
Well, this room is obviously kind of locked up, so it can't get out.
okay? So it's medium. So it's like
It's bigger than you are, and probably not as squishy as the lizard.
Can I make an Arcana check or investigation check to see if I know anything about what this thing is?
Sure.
It'd be the same bonus either way. So
Investigation would be appropriate.
okay. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna use one of my inspirations.
Is this important?
Well, maybe.
Okay, go for it.
It seems to be an important thing, but I don't know anything about it. So,
Right.
that wasn't all that great. It's a total of 14.
Oh, that should be enough. You realize that this is a very unusual creature, which is commonly known as a kenku. And that kenku are sentient, actually quite clever. They can't actually speak language. They can repeat sounds. And they're flightless, as quite obvious looking at it. And they're pretty clever with their little clawed fingers. And you're not really sure why the giant would have one locked up there.
Is it like no, this is the only like dead end? This is all it leads to?
There's a door outside and the kind of in the back, but it's pretty obvious. Well, I don't know. There's a door. I guess that's all I need to say about it. If you want to check the door out, you certainly can when your turn comes. Keep this moving.
Nothing else in the room then?
Nothing that's obviously important. No, hold it. I take that back. I do take that back. You'll see that there's kind of like almost a workshop here, and on the table in this workshop is a large egg, which it looks like this creature has been doing something with.
Just made out of egg material, or
Well, I don't know. The shell is kind of a golden color.
I would move closer to the egg to probably investigate it on my next turn.
You might notice that this Kenku creature is concentrating on the egg and mixing up something in this little workshop in a cup that he's looks like he's probably going to apply to the egg.
Okay.
Or she, excuse me.
Okay. I would move somewhat closer and watch, and leaving my hand out for Korth to walk next to me if he chooses on his turn.
All right. So Ray, I realize you're pretty much stuck waiting here. Is there anything that you're thinking or doing while you're stuck waiting, or did you want to get into some sort of trouble, or?
Didn't the giant leave and go to the bedroom, though?
He did leave and go to the bedroom.
Then I'm going to instantly run for the door that Jack went out of. So I was like, I don't really care about food anymore. Now there's a giant looking for us. So
roll me a stealth, I guess, and we'll see.
I'm not really worried about stealth. It's just running quickly. So.
Well, I know, but I just want to see if he notices you.
13.
Oh my. So you're going to start running. And as you go through there, you're not going to make a whole lot of noise, but Gregor is going to notice you. And we'll see what happens when his turn comes. Dottie hears you also. She doesn't have any clue what's going on with the golden bird, so she comes into the room behind you. I mean, she sees you go, so she heads out behind you. And we're kind of... Okay, then we're Korth's turn. What are you going to do in the room with this? Yeah, at this rate, we aren't going to get done. Although we're really close to being done. We just have to work all this out, what's going to happen with the Kenku and the giants.
So what else is there in this room? Or is it just a cage?
It's basically where the Kenku lives, with the Kenku's living quarters in there. And
it appears that it's guarding the egg.
It's doing something to the egg. It's mixing some chemicals or something up in a bowl and muttering words to itself. Well, it doesn't mutter actual words. It makes sounds.
Is it sort of lead colored with gold feathers on the back?
Uh-huh. Exactly.
I make my way. I'm trying to think what to do. Is there any way for us to talk without alerting it? I don't think so.
Probably not.
You
could.
I'm just going to follow along with...
the giants can be very confused if, something invisible isn't talking.
Well, the giants are all pretty distracted by you. But he doesn't know that.
So I'm going to follow along with Midge because she's like leading me, I guess.
Midge is taking over the universe. Rain is still unaware that people have gone into the room with the bird. She sees Ray Lynn go tearing out after Jack. And she sees the giantess sort of start after Ray Lynn. So she's going to sneak out after them to see what they're doing. And I guess she has to roll a stealth check. Oh my gosh, that's the only thing that would have failed practically. She's enormously high stealth. She rolls a 1. So Rain gets out and actually trips over something like, what the heck? And she goes, oh! And then the giantess turns and sees her. I mean, the giantess knew you guys were there, didn't she? So she's like, what are you doing? You'd better get out of here before that giant gets back. I'll have to... She shakes her head. Don't know what I'm going to do. If he finds out... Oh, and then she stops. I guess she doesn't want him to find out whatever that was. That was Rain's turn. Gregor's going to chase after Jack. He hears... Or no, he was digging around in the room. He hears here's Raylin, and he comes running out where Raylin is, and of course Raylin is trying to run, but the giant has like 2 strides to catch up to him. And so he's going to snag Raylin by the back of his shirt and pull him back. Oh, I thought there was someone else here. Now let's get back into that kitchen, and we'll talk with you, and we'll talk with Dottie, and we'll find out what's going on at the bottom of this. And this 22-foot giant basically just kind of holds you out there with his hand, marches back into the kitchen.
Oh, Raylan's gonna pull out a scimitar and shield and start biting at the hand because he doesn't like being picked up at, you know.
Gregor kind of laughs. You fool!
Well, now you have a really angry little.
He's like, I need to find out what's going on. Just settle down. We'll get this to the bottom of this. And he sets your feet on the ground, but hangs onto the back of your shirt and just kind of marches you into the kitchen with him. And now, Midge, it's time for you. Oh, Midge, hold it. Oh yeah, because Gregor's marching Raylin back into the kitchen.
Okay. I'm going to try to talk to the Kenku.
Go for it.
I clear my throat a little bit to hopefully not startle it too bad. He still can't see me because I'm still invisible. But
right.
They can understand me, right? Generally.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I ask him. Or say, hello, Kenku. I know you can't see me. I'm hiding. Don't worry. Are you a prisoner here? Against your will?
Kenku looks around rather startled and kind of thinks for a second and cocks its bird-like head in this sort of bird-like motion and pulls his arms out and then kind of pulls them in like they're bound and nods his head up and down and kind of points towards the egg and pours this concoction on it, and you see it kind of shimmer, and the whole thing actually looks like it's turned into gold. And he points at that, and then he points out at the giant and makes an inquiring chirp.
I'm speaking kind of quietly so that hopefully it doesn't carry into the next room, by the way.
Well, they're all off, yeah, fiddle farting around over there.
I have no idea what's going on out there. I don't want to, but although I may hear the giant now yelling at Raylin, I probably do hear that. So he's keeping you here to make golden eggs?
And once again, the Kenku points at the egg and nods its head up and down.
You want to get out of here?
And nods his head very rapidly.
I can make you invisible too. And then we can sneak out.
Kenku nods its head even again. Tucks the golden egg in its little. It's got kind of a little leather shirt on. And it points at the egg and points at you, or it points. It's kind of going, you know.
I put my hand on his arm so he knows where I'm at.
Yeah. So then he points at the egg and points at where your hand is again, as if to say it would trade an egg for its freedom.
I'm going to use my last second level spell and cast invisibility on him or her, so she will also be invisible, and then head back toward the door. One hand on the Kenku and one hand on Korth still.
Sure, Korth saw this go down. I think we'll go ahead and finish up with you and Korth, and then we'll go to the giants and Raylin.
And
That makes sense.
as I finish up the spell, I say, "You're only invisible for an hour unless you attack something. Just don't attack anything or cast a spell."
Immediately freaks out and attacks you.
No, I don't think so. I think at this point, yes. Of course, what would you be doing in the middle of all this invisible madness?
I just watched a pile of. Just watched an egg turn into gold, right?
Yes, you watched a regular egg, which was gold painted, but then turned into gold. And it's going with you because you heard her talk to it. So,
How big was that egg, by the way?
what, Anna?
How big was the egg?
Size of a goose egg, pretty good size. Size a little smaller than your fist.
So the thing's friendly.
Yes, and it wants to be rescued.
Before we leave with it or it starts walking away, I ask it what's in the other door.
Well, it's invisible, so since it can't talk, it's pretty hard to answer.
Then.
It
Well, I
hears
mean,
you.
we're pretty safe in this room, so I just talked to Midge. Shall we continue investigating?
The Kenko reaches over because it can hear you and finds you and kind of tugs on you. You know, it's got one hand on Midge now and one on you, and it's tugging like. Chirp. I mean, it could make more noises, but it's trying to stay really quiet too.
Does Midge understand it?
It's not actual language to be understood. It's just kind of conveying an emotion.
Oh, did it seem?
They don't have actual language.
So well, actually, I can't do that because then I'll break my invisibility.
Oh wait, that broke my invisibility, didn't it?
Did it?
Yeah.
If you cast a spell, you break your invisibility.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not invisible then.
Oh, okay. The Kenko is. That's important.
Yeah.
They'll care a whole lot less about you probably than the Kenko.
Okay.
Well, then I just asked the Midge, what should we do?
Do you think he'll fit under the door?
It's a super big bird, right?
Well, it's kind of a bird-like creature. It is a small humanoid. I mean, how big are you?
Like about 5 feet.
Oh, it's about the same size you are. So we can give a roll and see if we can get out. Or if Midge is going to have to sneak out and see if she can open the door for you.
Oh, it's locked from the outside?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well.
Can a bird, go flat like that? I'm thinking, super long legs. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know. It can roll to see if it'll get out, just like you rolled to see if you can get in.
All right. Are we rolling for it, or is it?
Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and move this side forward for a second. Mitch doesn't have to roll. The other two, oh yeah, it rolled enough. It can squeeze through.
Yay.
I let both of them go first, and then I kind of peek out.
When you peek out, you're going to see that Gregor's there hanging onto the scruff of Raylan's neck, and he and Dottie are looking at each other, and they're totally absorbed in that.
Oh.
I look to both sides and see if there's something that I could run for to hide behind real quick while they're doing that. Is there anything relatively close?
Yeah, you're not terribly far from the barrels where Rain's hiding.
Okay, I'm going to dash for the barrels then. Squeeze the last bit out from under the door and dash for the barrels.
Gonna roll stealth?
I can't roll for anything tonight. None of my dice like me. Total of 12.
Well, they're pretty distracted. I would say that's pretty much what you had to roll to get behind the barrels without being noticed. It's not going to be a real high one because they're not looking for you, and they're concentrating on Raylin. And the other two come out quietly behind you and start sneaking around towards the front door, I think. Does that sound good, Korth, or do you want to do something else? Since you're invisible.
I'm trying to make sure the bird gets out at least, right?
Yeah, the bird made it through. Did you make it through?
Through the door, you mean, or like just?
Yeah, under the door.
Oh yeah, I'm going under the door.
Okay. Now we're going to switch back to the two giants and poor Raylin. Gregor's like, you keep letting everybody in. Dorothy, you're going to have to be more careful about your friends. I really don't trust that Jack. I don't know about this elf. I'm not even sure why he's here.
Raylan's like, I'm here for the food. I heard it was one of the best in the land.
Giant actually cracks a smile at that. My Dorothy's a pretty good cook. But I don't know. She has her faults. And he glares at Dorothy again. Dorothy pouts. She's like, but, I understand. Gregor, you're big and everything, and you eat a lot, and it's fun to cook for you, but Gregor, I get lonely up here. There's not many people that come and hang out in a giant's cloud. Jack was good company when you were out there, taking care of the sheep. Gregor kind of growls at her. I said, what are we going to do with this? The giantess kind of brightens up. I was thinking of stew. Gregor's like, what? You can't do that. And what are you going to do, Raylin?
So Dorothy said thinking of stew.
Yes. Dorothy's thinking of stew.
Raylan's like, betrayer! You're a traitor!
Traitor? I'm not your friend. Well, are you going to do something, Raylin, or just complain?
He's going to complain and struggle even more so.
He's going to look at him with a bit of a dirty look and look at Dorothy with an even dirtier look. And then we'll quick go back to the other group. I guess Midge starts that group.
Having heard the noises that the Kenku makes, well, I'll probably wait I'll do it. We don't want to waste too much more time. Yeah. I'm going to use minor illusion to make it sound like the Kenku's making distressed noises in the room where he was.
Oh, in his room?
Yeah.
Her room?
Yep.
All right.
Do I happen to notice that Rain is in the barrels too, or no?
You wouldn't notice Rain.
Okay.
Oh, no, she rolled a 1. That's right. So she broke her cover. That's right.
Right, never mind.
She's involved in all this too. I forgot. Oh, dang.
That's right. She wasn't even there anymore. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I make it, use the minor illusion to make it sound like the Kenku's making a racket of distress in its prison room. And hope that Korth and the Kenku are by the other side of the room by now.
We are, invisibly.
Yes, you've managed to pass through this just beautifully. And so at that...
And I'm thinking, but I don't say anything. I'm like, run!
At that, Gregor basically just drops drops Ray Lynn and heads for the Kenku's room. The giantess is going to grab at him. But the giantess, fortunately for him, rolls really low. Roll me a roll, Raylan. A dex roll. Dex saving roll. We'll see if you beat the giantess's dex.
20, not a nat one, but it's 20.
Yes, you definitely escape the giantess, and you can head for the door out front too if you wish at full speed.
So this story has turned from one friendly giantess into one human-eating giantess.
Yes, it has. Because that's what happens in fairy tales. And my gut feeling is now everybody's running for the door, right?
Yes.
Yep, I'm running for the door. Now I don't want to eat the giantess food because I have no idea what's in it.
Well, their baked goods are all right. So
who knows? They might use bone flour, like human bone flour and all that
wonderful.
stuff.
Well, Gregor's not in favor of human food or elf food or any kind of sentient being food. At any rate, Rain decides to bounce around and distract the giants while you guys escape. What is it, that pie? Not blackbirds.
Wait, the giant was going to see what was going on in his room.
Right. Well, yeah, Rain certainly lets him do that. She's distracting the giantess.
Ah, okay.
That's what she's going to do. Yeah, she manages to get in the giantess's way a little bit. The giantess doesn't manage to grab her, and it kind of a bit of a dance there, giving you guys a little extra chance to get out of there.
How tall is this room?
Well, the room is like 20, it must be close to 30 feet tall.
Okay, let me know when it's my turn again.
I'll go ahead and let you go. We're not so much turn now. We've got one group of adventurers running away and stuff going on.
Okay. Well, was Gregor going to do something else?
Gregor's running. He's running to the Kenku's room. I'm going to yank the door open in a second here.
Okay. Well, I was going to cast something just because it's funny.
Do it.
At the doorway to the kitchen, Mitch stops real quick and turns back and focuses on a point about 10 feet from the ceiling and about halfway through the room. And she starts casting, making some little, whoops, I just knocked my glasses off, making some little hand motions and does this and makes this kind of funny coughing noise. And it sort of almost looks like there's a spectral picture of a image of a dragon that sort of appears right there. It makes this like vicious face toward the backside of the giant, and then turns around and disappears, and the stinking cloud starts spreading from where that was.
Oh, jeez. That makes everybody particularly the giant start to gasp and choke. And
they do have a Constitution saving throw.
Well, I don't have time for that.
And then I turn and keep running.
Well, Rain passes it, the other two fail.
Well, that's good. I was thinking it might be high enough that she wouldn't get caught in it anyway. But
let's see, how big is it? 20-foot radius? No, if it's 20 feet up.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking diameter. Never mind.
That's okay. That's okay, because she passes and she's kind of coughs a little, but she's able to run out behind you, leaving the two giants kind of gasping and choking. Gregor manages to and throwing up, giant. Yuck! What a mess. So that for a round or so, they don't do much of anything. You guys managed to make it out the door. Rain's right with you. Rain turns back into a fox so that you can all grab onto her and she can swim across the moat.
Do we tie the bird up to her?
The invisible bird.
Yeah.
It can't fly. I think probably you'll go ahead and you can let it become visible again, can't you?
Yeah.
At this point, I think that you might consider that. Otherwise, we have two invisible people that have to be tied on.
Well,
The problem is I can tie myself up.
Right. The kangaroo can tie itself on too. It's got hands. It doesn't have on its sort of arms. Her fingers are slightly clawed, but she can tie herself on.
I'll leave her invisible in case the giant catches up with us.
Probably a good plan. Oh, no. Midge wasn't invisible anyway, but the kangaroo was. So, let's see. Everybody give a quick roll. We'll do a Dexy thing. Kind of a Dexy thing to see how well you do on crossing the thing with the...
16.
Actually, the one who needs to do the roll, I guess, is... No, the kangaroo doesn't even need to roll to swim across here. She's something else. Not the kangaroo, the fox lady. Perfect.
Do you need a roll or not?
Yeah, it looks like actually I rolled. You guys rolled. Looks like we passed enough rolls that we can all get tied on and go.
Okay. Excellent.
The fox swims just madly. It doesn't matter if the current takes you around the castle a little ways. That's the way you wanted to go anyway. And when we get to the other side, everybody... I assume you're going to keep running?
Oh, yeah.
So everybody's going to run like mad. It's been a turn. We'll see how the giants are doing. They both failed one more save. So you get another distance where they're not coming after you.
Oh, that's handy.
Full out running speed. I'm assuming that Midge probably is riding on the fox. Because the fox is fast.
Allows me to continue to do that, yes. By all means.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, Gregor manages to quit coughing and gasping long enough to go and open the door into the Kenku's room, discovers Kenku is gone, runs back into the stinking cloud, and rolls a nat 1, so he's gasping and retching again. I know, he wasn't such a bad dude. He just had a bad wife.
Oh, he might change his mind about that whole not eating people.
Well, he wasn't a person eater. She was bad.
Right, but he might change his mind now if he's all pissed off because his bird's gone. And...
Yeah, Jack was helping her bring people up there and then eat them.
Who knows what Jack was doing? It couldn't have been good. So, okay, you got to the top of the thing. Are you going to start climbing down it?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right, you guys start climbing. Ooh, they both managed to pass their saves. So they're started out after you.
You're gonna have to figure out where we went, though.
That's true.
Before I start climbing down the thing, I am going to cast. Make sure. Yeah, I can concentrate on it for up to 10 minutes. So I'll lose my concentration on Stinking Cloud.
Okay.
And I will cast Major Image, and I make the place where the vine comes through the cloud look like regular dirt and cloud material.
Okay. After you go through?
Yeah, once we're started down it.
Brilliant. All right, it's going to take...
That can last up to 10 minutes.
Let's have the three of you give me a dex roll.
Oh, gosh.
Or acrobatics if you have it. Or athletics if you have it. If strength is better than dex, you can do strength, but...
13 from me.
Okay.
20. I finally rolled something decent.
All right. So you guys make good time climbing down the thing. Midge is able to actually help Korth. Tell me how she manages to help Korth when he starts to slide off once when his foot slips. Even though you're on the fox. Do something brilliant with your nat 20, girl.
Oh, that wasn't a nat 20.
Oh, that's okay. It's a 20. It's pretty good.
I noticed him starting to miss his grasp on a branch, and I shove a branch into his hand.
Good job.
I grasp at it and I say, "Thank you, hatchling."
Just give a big grin.
Oh my gosh, the giant can't roll worth anything. Actually, that one's Dottie. He's not rolling too well either. They're looking.
Oh,
Dottie rolled a 1 and he rolled a 6, looking for where you guys went. So they're wandering around upstairs this turn. So you guys all roll me another dex. I know it's going to be bad.
oh wow, 21.
Sweet.
15.
Okay.
Dex only?
Dex plus acrobatics or strength plus
I have
athletics.
12.
All right, well, you're going to teeter on the edge. I think you'll make it again. And we'll have the giants look and see if they can find you. All right, well, Gregor seems to have found a place that he's pretty sure there should be a hole here, but he looks and now is a major illusion. Does that hold up to feeling?
No, it seems completely real, including sound, smells, and temperature. It can move naturally. Physical interaction reveals it to be an illusion because things can pass through it.
Okay. Well, because the illusion is there, he's going to miss finding it this turn. That gives you basically an extra turn where he fails something he would have passed.
Okay.
That's what I'm giving you on the illusion. And one more time to see if you guys make it to the bottom. You're going down fast.
16.
Good job.
17.
Awesome.
Yes.
Can we just pretend I do it properly?
Maybe someone could give you inspiration.
I can give you my inspiration. I
I rolled a 1, so like, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
give you
My second one today, jeez.
I know.
I got a 3 now.
Oh, geez. Well, it's not a total failure, but you get left behind because you're tangled up in the vine and everybody else gets to the ground.
I loved you guys.
I loved you. What's it going to take for her to do that? Dottie feels the edge of the hole. No, hold it. Oh. How do they... They're going to be totally fooled unless they feel it?
They can feel it, or they can examine the image with a successful intelligence investigation check against my spell save DC.
And what would they test to feel against? Whatever I decide the DC is? What's your spell save DC?
15.
Okay, she's not going to find it this turn. She didn't beat that. The one thing they're not is dexterous. So I want one more roll from Korth.
Do you hate me or something?
No, you rolled really low, so you got stuck and couldn't get out last turn.
Yeah, I got a 2 now.
He definitely hates you, by the way. He doesn't like you at all.
I got a 2 now.
Oh no. That's a failure, it's not a fall. Right?
You just
Right.
see Korth fall from the sky.
Someone going to rescue him?
Yeah. Raylan will be underneath him and try to avoid the spikes, from his back from being a lizard person. So I like the spikes, but
You're going to squash Raylan. Roll me a
Raylan.
strength check, Raylan.
Okay.
Strength athletics.
Nat 20.
You do it!
I'm saved. I'm so saved.
Like in princesses and everything, where there's like the prince holding them from the fire and stuff and walking out. That's why he looked like.
As he's doing this, I'm just staring into his eyes. They glitter in front of me.
So bad. It's so funny.
Raylan.
Of course, is saved by Raylan's superior strength and athletic ability. Fantastic. That's great. I'm going to assume, because we really are out of time, that you guys are able to chop down the vine a la Jack and the Beanstalk.
I was going to cast a chromatic orb on it.
Sure, do it. Quick, cast chromatic orb on it. We have time for that.
Image.
I was gonna crawl into the gnome hole and hide for in time the giants were down.
Well, no, if you cut the vine, that's all good.
Okay. I don't know if I hit it.
What did you roll?
Oh man, I just picked it up. What was it? 9 to hit.
Well, it's a giant freaking 3-foot wide beanstalk, and it's not going anywhere.
If I need to, I can go 3 more times too.
Yeah.
And also, it's gotten wider because it continues growing. So.
Well, I did eventually reach some sort of point where it stopped. Sometime after you got up there.
If I actually hit it at some point, I would do 11 fire damage.
Does anybody else have something they can do to it real quick?
Yeah, I'm gonna chop at it with my scimitar. So.
All right. Give me a roll. Tell me how much damage you do.
Do we have to roll to hit it, or do we just have to roll for strength or something?
Roll like you're hitting at it with your scimitar and give me. It doesn't have to be. No, you don't have to hit it. Just how much damage do you do?
Okay. I was like, well, I'm not gonna be too good at hitting a stationary object apparently because with my roll.
Me neither.
Good enough.
I'm good with moving objects, not stationary. So it would be 6 points of slashing damage. So.
All right. Well, that's true. You might crit or they might crit fail. So go ahead and roll whatever.
I rolled 9 plus 6, so it would
That's
be,
fine.
So.
As long as it's not a crit either way, it's just a regular hit. Okay. Korth?
The only thing I can think of is witching bolt, or just start biting at it.
You don't have any weapons at all?
I have a scimitar, but just as that's I have a rapier, so it's like I might as well bite it.
Well, I don't.
Does it poke holes in it?
I stab at the tree.
Well, you just kind of cut it. Go ahead and witch bolt it.
Do I have to roll?
Not to hit it, but just roll the damage. No, do roll. If it's a crit either way, it'll make a difference, but otherwise you'll hit it.
Wow, 14. The 20 is the next part, but no, it's 14.
So what's the damage?
Yeah, the damage is it a D8, I believe? 1 D12, all right?
D12.
That is not a D12. This is a D12. 8.
All right, let me see. All right, it's Midge's turn again.
Oh boy.
I believe with the weight of the giants on it, it's most likely going to topple over at one point.
All right, that was not a crit. That's 16 points of multicolored fire damage.
All right, that is enough to finish cutting this thing in two. I mean, not entirely, but it's kind of like got the whole cloud castle up there. So the whole thing starts to kind of waver and start, fortunately, to fall away from you guys and away from Midge's house, and it takes it a long time to come down, and you have plenty of time to get away and not be under it. And hopefully it'll land in the wilderness.
It's gonna hit the children's village where the children are not staying at.
Oh, we're not squishing the children.
Appetizers. I mean,
It's actually now called pancakes, not appetizers.
He should have stayed with the cloud giant's wife. She was flirting with the wrong guy.
They should be called pancakes to flatten children now instead of appetizers because they're pretty wide.
Okay, that's enough of that. Now that's the end. We're gonna cut it off there. But if everybody wants to tell me, give me a quick exit, like who you are, and we'll do that, and then we'll be done. We'll start with Raylin. Raylin.
Well, I'm the son of Ben Dunster, and I don't really have anything like on YouTube or anything. I've just decided to play in this campaign of craziness, so here I am.
That's Dominic. Playing Raylin the elf. And Korth or Mike?
hey, I'm Michael. So I got invited to play because I have a friend who knows you, and I just enjoy playing D&D. I don't know. It's fun. I've only played a couple, maybe 3 months, honestly, but I've enjoyed it. Honestly,
it's really been fun having you. I've enjoyed it too.
I'm sorry, I'm still new and trying to get things because I play on a different system and all that, so it still scrambles in my brain what to do half the time.
No, you do fine.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. And you're playing Korth, who's a lizard man bard, right?
Yes, he's a lizard man bard. Am I trying to describe the character or me as a person?
Oh, you're not a lizard man. I hope.
No. It would be cool though.
Yeah. Our one watcher, yay. Thank you, John, who's watched us this whole time, John Pullen.
You rock, John.
I know, he's fun. And
I've enjoyed your comments.
What, Anna?
I
enjoyed
thank
John's
John, I've
comment.
enjoyed your
Me too.
comments.
John was actually the inspirational help for me to even plot this thing. He came up with the main ideas for it, so I'm really glad he got to watch it play out.
Oh, the fairy tale themes?
Yeah, this particular fairy tale, he's the one that I'm like, help, I need a plot. And he's like, what about this and this and this? And he came up with most of it. All right, last but not least.
I'm Fred. I played
That's
midget,
Fred.
gnome midget. I mean, illusionist. Oh, my name is Anna. I got suckered in because she's my mom.
Sometimes you just can't help it.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you for watching, John, and anybody else that happens to watch it later. And thank you to my players. Welcome, Fred.
Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.
Lots of fun.